Hello, everybody. Welcome to the intro of the Taster episode of the bonus app, the Ultra app.
Here's one for you, Carl.
Go on.
I don't know if you're like me, but is the intro and outro of the Patreon episodes your favourite bit of the pod? Because it's mine.
It's probably my least favourite.
Really? We're in opposite camps.
I fade off very quickly. I'm like, this is the... What is this?
Yeah, that's what I like. I like the casualness of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're not really giving them anything. You know, this one, like, you're just kind of explaining.
This is, I guess, to maybe enhance them in, but I mean, enhance them in, entice them in. See, I lose all my words.
Yeah.
Usually I can think of the games that are happening when I would say this is like off the cuff and it's not good. Look, this is a bit of a taster. We talk about the Europa League, we talk about the managerial merry-go-round, talk about some notable omissions from some of the various squads that have happened. Not the full squads.
The England one.
Not the England one, but also I think it's the 33 provisional man squad.
Yeah, this is the training squad.
The real snubs will happen when it gets down to 23 and you're like, wow, you're not going to bring him. Yeah. You're actually not going to bring him.
Just because of that one game, you're not bringing Jude Bellingham.
that would be probably the biggest snub of the year. Yeah. So we're talking about all that in the episode, and I think it's a pretty good app.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're back in person, so that's nice.
Back in person. So yeah, whatever that means, I guess. Listen, we'll let you know what you tell us.
You tell us.
You tell us what it means. You listen to this and tell us if it's any better or worse. Welcome, Ultras, to a no-nonsense podcast. It's a new thing we'll start doing, Will. I'm not going to say hello, everybody. I'm going to say welcome, Ultras.
Yeah, just them.
Just the Ultras, you know.
Yeah.
The other people, everybody can listen to the intro. This is for the Ultras. Ultras only. You get the full, unedited pod, raw, to your ears every week.
Especially raw this week. We're back in the studio.
Back in the studio. Back in top of Din Reed, the highest podcasting point. They kept it open for us.
Yeah, you're probably going to be wondering, why is it so echoey?
Yeah, we're at the top. We're back at the top. But first things first, Will.
Yeah.
Jeans for the final. What are your thoughts?
Look, he probably was listening to the last episode. He thought there's awards for jeans being handed out by football podcasts now. How do I get in on that? Yeah.
I know, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. It was like rare L and baggy jeans.
And
the two things talked about last week. I mean, very strange. I have to change the awards, don't I?
But it's Gasparini was in jeans.
Yeah.
Was Alonso in jeans as well?
No, Alonso.
But he was in the kind of the Pep black jumper.
Yeah. Pep has changed the game, to be fair, in terms of manager of fashion. Because obviously, years back, it was tracksuit or suits. And I think there's like a differentiation sometimes between coach and manager.
Yeah.
But the head coach, I'm on the train field.
Yeah.
I'm in my rough and ready tracksuit and runners.
This is what you pay me for, lads. You know, I need to be.
I'm
in it.
I'm tactics. I'm going back and forth. Yeah. Manager, I'm managing the coaches and the players.
I'm the face of the club.
Suit, nice suit, cut to the body. You know, but the jeans is kind of between both.
Yeah,
the worst of both.
Yeah, very casual.
Very casual, but you don't have the movement of tracksuit bombs.
Yeah,
he looked like he was kind of. Like he'd end up in a nightclub after work pints on a Friday night. You got jeans and runners and a jumper. Like, yeah, it's fine for the pub, 100%. You stay to the line, now you're in the nightclub, and it's like the bouncer's like, that's a quiet night, I suppose, Friday night.
Yeah,
I'll let you in, but really, you're bringing the whole place down.
He'll check you for your ID and he'll let you in eventually, but
even though he knows, it's just to let you know that you don't belong here like this. I can't legally let you in, but come on.
I do like the idea of a bouncer asking Gasparini for his ID. It's like white hair.
Probably in coppers that night, actually.
Yeah.
So who's the first manager in the Premier League who's going to wear jeans next? I mean, this is an iconic kind of end of season thing. Someone's going to try it. They're going to try wear jeans.
And it's a tough question because you posed this question the other day and I was like, it'd be Pep. And I was like, will it? The first? And then I was thinking, it is rare.
Yeah. And I don't, honestly, whatever Pep does, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No.
Because he can do what he wants. There's no same as every fucking thing that club does. Yeah. There's no risk.
He can wear what he likes.
He can do what he wants. Yeah. He can lose the game, wear jeans, doesn't make any odds. Like Atalanta, that's a fucking football story.
Oh, you know? Yeah.
Selling players like Cullen for like 50 million and then getting Scamacco in from West Ham and win Europa League. That's why they get. That's what fucking. Sorry, man.
You're all riled up about jeans.
No, I'm riled up about fucking Rodri, which I didn't see last when we did the episode at the end of the season.
I didn't see that, yeah.
What the fuck was that about? If anyone didn't see it, he basically came out and said the difference between us and Arsenal is mentality. We have it upstairs. And what he said was, when they came here, as into Man City, we looked in the eyes and they didn't want to win the game. It's like, and what were you trying to do?
Yeah.
And also, who did they beat?
Yeah.
They didn't beat Liverpool. They didn't beat Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, of all the years that we had up here, we wanted to win the games. This was the worst year to use that example, but it's just, they can feel the walls closing in.
Yeah.
He's seen the 115 charges. He's seen it talked about. I said, I have to rationalize this in my head. We're just, mentally, we're better, Yeah, that and the 100 million signs on the bench, I mean, it just really pissed me off, to be honest. So,
yeah, that was a bad one. I saw that.
Because at the time I was like, I'm not going to watch the celebrations, but maybe I should have, because like that really got past me. And when I saw it then during the week, I was like, oh wow, that has really boiled my blood.
So that you're official. We've been on this train for a while, but you an official City hater now as well, like big time.
Well, listen, I've obviously heard a lot of think pieces and thoughts about it, and like it's just nobody hates City.
Yeah,
no one cares, and it's always like I'd rather, because when City wins, like, well, obviously they won. We're not competing with them, but if Arsenal were to win, it like breaks that illusion. It's like, oh shit, we could have won if we weren't so shite.
That's true.
So you'd rather Arsenal win to maintain, or City win to maintain, like, oh no, they're above us on a different level, but we don't have to listen to their fans and whatever. But yeah, because we were saying this, if they had a Haaland and they had Grealish like really leading, you might give some personality to the team. But Grealish on the bench and Haaland's like, even when he's going badly by his own standards, he doesn't react or care. No. So it's like, yeah, they're just a soulless robotic team.
The cogs, yeah.
The cogs, yeah, the fucking Manchester cogs. That's what they are. Anyway, what are we talking about that? We're talking about the Europa League, right? Yeah. Atalanta. Obviously, this was the Leverkeusen story.
Yeah.
This was all about the invincible treble beyond a fairy tale, like just an improbability. It's just never going to happen again. Shouldn't happen. Didn't happen, I guess.
It was, I don't know about you, but again, we were talking about how I've seen fuck all Leverkusen. I don't care about Leverkusen, but I found it quite deflating seeing them getting hammered. It's like, it's never going to happen, is it? No one's ever going to do this.
Well, you saw all these fucking internet personalities sporting Leverkusen gear beforehand, which is like sickening in a way, because like, fuck off, don't ruin it now, But everyone had kind of like, oh yeah, Leverkusen, that's good, this is, because again, this is how you do it. You sell someone like Diaby to Aston Villa for huge money, you bring in Xhaka, who's like, oh, he's good but he's not great, and you achieve something against the odds. Not just like, say getting Haaland's release clause and paying him more money than anybody else who's maybe legally even allowed to pay. That's not a fucking story.
No.
Sorry, I'm going back to it. But
like,
Leverkusen, that's the story. Everyone wanted to believe in the story. It was like, fuck, against all the odds.
Because there was something refreshing about, like, this wasn't like Leverkusen's 10-year plan.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, this is just an insane thing that was happening.
Yeah.
And by magic every week they were making it happen.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I was like, as the goals went in, part of me was like, oh, this is actually quite sad. Of like, it was so exciting to think like a new record, something that's never been done, something we'll remember forever. And then it's like, oh no, they went unbeaten in Germany. That's unbelievable. But it's like, this was going to be a thing though that you'd remember forever.
Yeah, and we could pretend we watched.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was, and with the whole game, you're waiting for the comeback.
Yeah,
you're like, they always come back. They have to come back, And then the third goal goes in. It's like, I guess it's over now. But I don't want to focus too much on Leverkusen. But I think sometimes it happens when there's a great narrative emerging on one side of the draw.
Yeah.
That people are like, look at this team. They keep going. There's an other side of the draw. There's a really good team who have destroyed Liverpool and Marseille, and are like coming to the final with a really good team and a really good manager who actually have been building for almost 10 years. And no one sees it coming. It happened this year with Caitlin Clark in the college basketball.
Yeah.
Because she was like, oh, she's doing so much to win women's game. And they went to the final, they lost to like a much better team. It was like, oh, they were there the whole time, but there wasn't a story. There wasn't a narrative. Like, but that's the thing. There was a narrative with Atalanta.
Yeah.
They're kind of a poorer team in Italy, and they've done it the right way. Like, they've sold players like Diallo and Holland for massive profits, and then brought in, like, say, Scamacco and players like that. And just, they've got to a load of cup finals and lost them, and any team would have sacked the manager, but they kept with it, and this is kind of like the culmination of all the success. They were unbelievably good.
Yeah, they played them off the pitch.
That press was suffocating. It was stressful to watch because we all were kind of like rooting for Leverkusen. Like, oh my God, give him a second, Spray that pass wide, Xhaka, Jesus, calm it down a bit.
They're on you.
They were just smashing into them as well and like intercepting so many passes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was like, oh, Xhaka, that's not a good pass, And like they weren't perfect passes, but they weren't like bad passes.
It's just, they were on top of them. They were like,
all over them.
Breathing down their neck all game, yeah.
Like, I don't know any players want to play in that kind of press, but some players are able to, and some players are less capable of it. And Xhaka never has been and never will be a player like that. I've seen sometimes for Arsenal over the years. I remember there was a game they played. It was, I think, him, Aaron Ramsey, and Ozil starting midfield, playing against Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho. And this is when Liverpool were at the height of their pressing. It was exactly like that. It was just like off the power. It was very depressing. So I was like, well, Arsenal are miles off. And that's their best team. There's no one else. I need to get rid of Xhaka now. That was years ago. And to be fair, like Palacios isn't that either. And again, we're talking like maybe Modric and Iniesta might have dealt with that.
Do it, yeah.
Maybe Verratti, maybe. But like even then, it's a very small number because the press was so coordinated.
Yeah.
And everyone was doing it there was no one lazy, like, I'll just wait for them to kick the ball to me. Like, I think their top scorer was this year was Koopmeier. Now, with admittedly low 12 goals. But like, he wasn't thinking, like, get the ball to me, I'll hit a worldie. Yeah. He was one who smashed into the centre back early on. He was like, sorry, ref, sorry. It's okay, I'll play on the edge,
It's going to be one of those games, ref.
You'll book me in about 40 minutes' time. Don't worry about it. But like, he would, like, they were all doing it, like, as a team. There's no one, like, looking for the hero of it. I mean, I think it was Wirtz probably struggled with it the most. I was looking up his, like, injury record this year because obviously you go a long year with, like, really good players, not a big squad. There's always going to be injuries. He hasn't started a game in the Bundesliga since mid-April.
Yeah.
He's kind of come off the bench when they needed to get a layout winner because, like, the invincible thing kept happening. It's like, wow, we want to keep that intact. He started the first game against Roma, came off the bench against Roma, didn't start the last two games of the Bundesliga. So he started his game, but wasn't really fit. Was he fully at it? I mean, my body memory of him in this final is him almost being in and then getting caught up by like 3 or 4 like Atlanta players and then losing the ball or playing it back. It's like, oh, he's so slow, but I don't think he was right,
No, and it's the thing where they went unbeaten in the league.
Yeah.
Probably would have been better off if they had just won the league regularly.
Yeah.
And then you had like 4 games, just like, everyone relax, let's get everyone fit and we'll go again for the Europa League. That thing where you're like, every game matters. We play till the last second of all the games.
Even though they kept saying they didn't care about it,
don't
believe them.
Give over.
Because Shaq said after the game, like, it wasn't about being unbeaten today, which is obviously fair because like you have to win the game anyway. So you either win the tournament or you lose and go unbeaten. So it didn't. It was the mutually exclusive, I guess, is the word. Like not the start of the season, obviously, but when you're there, when you're 2 games away. You can't not be thinking invincible, we're going for invincible. We're the best, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best.
I don't know if you saw when they were asked about it before the game, what their secret was. Did you see
that? Yeah, I saw what people reported, but I heard something different.
Did you see what Xhaka said?
Yeah, that's what I think I heard something different.
So it was put to Alonso and Xhaka, like, how do you keep getting away with this, basically? Like, how do you...
a question for the whole team.
Like, how do you manage all these last-minute results? And Xhaka said, we drink blood.
Yeah. He said, how do you stay so calm? You all look so relaxed. And Alonso, you're so cool and handsome, all this stuff. And he said, I heard him say, we take blood every day.
Oh.
And then it's like, oh, drink blood. Sure, he's what he meant. Is that what he meant? Because, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with some of the scandals of the Tour de France over the years. One of the big things was blood doping.
Yeah.
They used to have a guy on the team who they would take his blood.
Also, what a dork. Imagine being the blood guy.
Probably like the 6th best cyclist in the world. But you're not the 5th, so your blood's going to Jerome over there. They used to take his blood and then freeze it, and then it would and then when you inject it after, it would give more blood cells to one of the actual cyclists. And those people would always be injured for the race, of course. Like, I'm not feeling well today. I've lost a lot of blood.
Pretty pale.
So Shaq admits the blood doping for the final. That's their secret, folks. I know. Just we take blood every morning. It's like we drink blood every morning. What's that a reference to? What's that mean?
So this is why So there was a lot of things going on Twitter of like their dark magic and stuff.
Oh, devil worshipping.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, but it was an ongoing joke of like the voodoo that's getting them through the games and stuff.
Oh, right.
But I don't think Xhaka seems like the type of guy to be like terminally online and reading that and like referencing United trade tweets. Like, you know what I mean?
You never know though. He's only our age.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be. They are more online this year. It feels, anyways, this year than ever.
Yeah.
They all seem to laugh at the joke, and I was like, what am I missing here? Did he just admit to blood doping? Or
well,
not?
That's the thing. I think if they didn't laugh, they're like they're blood doping. If they all looked quickly at him, they'd be like, "Oh,
we all have asthma." Wink, wink.
Yeah.
What? Nothing.
So yeah, it must have just been some funny joke that he had seen online, but just a weird thing to say. And then it's the type of thing where then you go into the game and you get hammered. It's like, hey, maybe less jokes, boys.
Well, I'm sure you saw the pictures of Alonso going for his morning run to Dublin. I was like, fuck. All these people who are like active and like take control of their lives and exercise regularly. I was like, he's going to win the fucking treble.
Yeah.
And he didn't. It's like, oh, thank God.
Thank God for that.
I can stay in bed.
He should have been doing tactics or something.
I can stay in bed. I can relax. I don't want to be like Alonso. But yeah, I mean, he's still going to come out this season look like roses, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they kind of lost the final and he got it completely tactically wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he did know about Ademola Lookman.
Look, we've been talking about Lookman for years.
Ademola Lookman.
That was amazing.
You've ruined everything for it. Ademola Lookman. Yes. We're going to need a drug test after that. I mean, yeah, I'd say like, I can't believe because he kept getting the ball 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, like he's on fire. Stop him, you know. I was looking up his stats, and he scored 12 goals in 42 games that year, which is good for a winger.
Yeah.
But it's not like get 2 men on him.
But that's the type of stat line that I would have. If you had showed me that stat line and said, who's this? I would have gone, eventually, I don't want to look at it, maybe.
Well, I think what's most impressive is two-footedness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, for someone who's like, I mean, he's been referred to as a journeyman.
Yeah.
He's 26, and he also won the World Cup with England under 20.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, another blunder by Southgate.
Yeah.
You lost him in 2022. He's playing for Nigeria now, Gareth. You blew it again, idiot.
Yeah, because he saw the famous Panenka penalty miss in the Premier League. If it happens in the Premier League, that's all Gareth sees.
That is what I remember him as. Because everyone's like, oh, you leave Everton and you win. It's like, did you leave Everton? I remember at Leicester briefly and Fulham and Panenka. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, this guy's cooked, you know. Speaking of bringing the hammer down, Pochettino has been... I mean, he's by mutual consent, which is nice. At least he wasn't sacked.
What the hell does that mean? Like, because what that basically is, they sit down and went, I think you want to leave, don't you? He went, I guess so.
Yeah, well, there's different versions coming out of what happened. I think some of it was over transfers.
Yeah, it's something about Conor Gallagher, is that true?
Conor Gallagher wanted to sell him for pure profit. And he was like, listen, lads,
we got to stop with the profit thing.
I'm all for signing young players, but we can't keep signing these young lads in on a 10-year contract and then signing Thiago Silva or players.
And selling our captains every year along the way.
Yeah, our English captains who were born and raised in the club. I mean, that's kind of really bad for like culture.
Yeah. And they said, get the hell out of here.
They said, get the hell out. It's our way or the highway. So, yeah, just as you thought Chelsea were turning the corner, they have gone back to
square one.
Back to square one. I mean, I was looking up their stats. Apparently, they were the best team. Although not the best, the fourth best team since January.
Yeah,
since Boxing Day, I should say.
Yeah,
which shows how bad the first half of the season was. Only finished sixth,
and also shows how bad the second half of the season was. Because for half of that, Chelsea were terrible. I'm pretty sure
for everyone. Yes, but they won the last 5 in a row, and you know it was just like. There's question marks over, okay, is this team going well or is there leaders? And then at certain points, like there's question marks over the actual quality. It was like, actually, maybe it's not that. Maybe these lads aren't even good. And then by the end, like, okay, maybe when people aren't trying, there is quality in this team and they can score goals and then they can defend.
They're looking good for next season.
And Pochettino maybe is starting to win them over.
It's one of the maddest managerial.
I wasn't expecting. I really wasn't expecting this.
Out of nowhere. Because again, everything's clicking finally. Like they've been waiting years for it to be like this. Like since Todd Bowley came in, I think Raheem Sterling has had more managers in the last 2 years than he had in his entire career previously.
Jesus,
it's madness because Like, where do you go now? Because are you going to go back to Tuchel? He hates you.
Tuchel
it didn't work. You didn't like him.
Tuchel and Lukaku, who's still under contract,
yeah.
back on the same roof. That's literally back to square one. Where after the Ukraine war, where remember Tuchel was like the face of the whole company.
Yeah, they really threw him under the bus.
Tuchel, Section C, Article 12. What's your thoughts on this?
And you might think that it's a big club, they'd be fine. But I think one of the most telling things was, did you see all the Chelsea players putting it on their stories with various different emojis of like palms, palms faces and like shocked faces, and so all of the players and a lot of the sentiments were like, "Wow, gonna miss you, boss."
Yeah, I think it's clear to everyone see that he was actually starting to get something going there.
Yeah,
and I know Chelsea said, "My way the highway," and he said, "Well, there's a lot of fucking highways out there hiring."
Nobody has a fucking manager at the moment. I'm out of here.
Like when he left, I suppose, when he decided he was going to leave, the Bayern Munich job was open, which we'll get to in a bit. Barcelona job is open. Xavi has finally been confirmed. It was leaked weeks ago that he's leaving. The Man United job is there.
It's always going to be there.
Liverpool job is just newly taken over by...
You could give it a season. That might not work out.
Might give it till Christmas. Go. If you're waiting in the long grass. I mean, there's a lot of jobs out there that like could be pretty good.
Even Pep has been talking about he's closer to leaving than staying because he knows like any day now this is going to come to an end.
Yeah. You don't be handcuffed out there, do you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good time for Poch, I think, to...
Yeah, because if he'd been sacked at some point during the season, it would have been terrible for him.
If this was February, he's done.
It's like, this guy's a fraud, actually. I think this guy might be a bit of a fake fraud, and it was all Harry Kane, In fact, once Dele Alli stopped playing, well, it went all went to shit, So, like, the fact that he managed to turn this around, like, this was a big job, and he managed to actually
No manager's done it before him so far. There hasn't been too many, but there's been a few.
I mean, not many people would have wanted to do it. He came in, and he did a good job, and he battled the press, and he said some weird stuff sometimes, but the reaction of relevant players, like, okay, he actually did win the hearts and minds there of the players. So
they really liked the Cole Palmer FC thing. When he said you're not Cole Palmer FC, it feels like it all turned around for them then. I know they did bad in that game specifically, but it does feel like over the next few weeks they're like, yeah, maybe we're not Cole Palmer FC.
So I think he'll be fine. Chelsea, I mean, you think, oh yeah, it'll be fine, but I mean, look at United. You can spend a lot of money, you can get good people in, but you can fuck things up yourself if you want. If you want to fucking sabotage yourself, the opportunities are there to do that. And this feels like this was a mistake.
Yeah. And you don't want to instill the thing, because I think this is what's happened at United, and it's been the case in Chelsea in the past, where you don't want to let the players know that like it's only a few games and then we'll get a new fella in. So like if you even have an inkling of not liking the next manager, just give it a few weeks and not trying, lads. We'll end up with a new one. Yeah,
down tools, and he'll be out. Whereas like when you're trying really hard and you're outwardly looking good, it's like get rid of him. He doesn't agree with everything we say, so he's gone. Yeah, it's and then for any manager, like say a De Zerbi, or I know Antonio Conte's already been there, but like say a quote unquote difficult manager. It's like, well, you wouldn't even describe Pochettino as a difficult manager.
No.
He asked for like one thing and it's like, absolutely not. No leeway. No compromise. Get out, in fact.
This is a manager who was at Tottenham for years when they were buying the stadium, and he wasn't allowed to spend any money. And he was just like, okay, I'll do what I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you're a difficult manager, you look at Chelsea going, no chance.
No, yeah.
I'll get nothing there. I'll be wasting my time. So, yeah. You mentioned that they were Bayern Munich. They were kind of maybe looking for people, couldn't get people in. Maybe Tommy T wasn't so bad at. Well,
which is it? I've been thinking about this also.
What?
We do that because we'll peel back the curtain a bit here.
I love doing that.
We do the intro.
Mm-hmm.
We've already done the Patreon episode. Then we do the intro, then the outro, one after another.
It's live. It's all live. What are you talking about?
Do you think when we call back to a bit from the intro after the preview, people are like, what the hell are they talking about?
I don't know. I don't listen to the show.
No,
so I've done it. I've lived it. Loved it.
I edited it. Imagine recording it, then I edit it, and then I listen to it. I've been hearing the conversation 3 times, twice a week.
Yeah, someone with Sarah will walk in on me listening to my podcast.
That's embarrassing.
I'm like, I have to listen for quality control.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you don't.
You haven't heard the edit, to be fair.
No, I think that was a good ep. But then again, I recorded it in full.
We heard the full thing.
I heard the full
That's
thing.
what we're saying.
You didn't.
Yeah, you
so
only heard
you.
a bit. Yeah.
So if you want to hear the whole thing, link in the description of this episode. Become an ultra today. Join the movement.
That makes it sound.
I stopped that for a while.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it back.
Sound like.
Look, there are going to be episodes throughout the Euros, but if you want to get both episodes, this is where you get it. More of this kind of stuff, and more kind of just it's content. It's more content.
Content. We're a machine. Content machine.
We're fucking getting out this summer. So if you want to be on board for that, let us know by subscribing.
Yeah, that's how we know.
Well, until then, we will see you Monday or Tuesday for the FA Cup final review.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what we're going to talk about in the Patreon next week. What the hell's going on midweek next week?
Conference League final, baby.
Oh, of course.
Fiorentina versus
Olympiacos.
Yeah. So, and whatever else happens,
and
it's a full scope, it's a full service podcast. So,
don't miss a second.
Don't miss a second of the football, even when it's over. There's still something we can talk about. There's still something happening, I swear. We'll talk about it all. So, thank you for listening, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.